Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
Whoa, that's right. It is all about you, ABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, finance, so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out on our social media up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
You probably recognize Grant. I'm trying to get past these glasses, but he was formerly the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
And where have we seen this guy? HGTV's House Hunters, and he's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Another episode where we're just celebrating mental health, you know? We're just giving back to the community.
The show's so mental.
We're just learning so much about ourselves. Joined in studio by Kathryn White, a.k.a. Ketamine Cat of Sandia Serenity, and Rebecca Sonnenberg, a behavioral health therapist and the co-host of the What in the Actual Mental Health podcast here in Albuquerque.
I was hoping it was What in the Actual
Fuck? And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, what's up?
Yeah, let me tell you about my glasses since you won't get over it.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly happy with these glasses. Here's what happened. I broke mine. Big time prescription. I went to go get my glasses fixed. They said, hey, you need to go for another eye exam. And I go, why? I already got one 2 years ago. They're like, yeah, that's exactly why. Go in there, can't see anything. You know, there's probably like if there's a beach ball in front of me, I could probably identify it in my left eye. My right eye sees it from a mile away. They give me these little rental glasses, and out of us two, I maybe substitute teacher glasses with the substitute teacher outfit you've got on, and you know, we're ready to teach on 10th grade algebra. And
let me ask you, does Ted Bundy need those glasses back?
Does Ted Bundy need that coat back? That's exactly
I need some patches
over.
You know
how many girls he killed in that jacket?
Yeah,
11.
It smells fresh.
Yeah, move this couch in the back.
I told Grant I'm dressed like every substitute teacher I've ever met. Plus, I brought an apple today
with a worm in it.
Yeah, you pay a little extra, Grant, at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Save your money. What's new with you, man? What have you been up to?
So all of my farming, all of my gardening has come to a head, the fruition, the harvest. So Mark, go ahead and cue up those pictures. I made some homemade tomato sauce that'll knock your socks off.
And I'm wearing socks.
Here we go. Start off with the stem. I think that's vital to show, farm to table. Keep it going, Mark. So what you do, that's called blanching, not the Golden Girls blanch, but you basically cut the tomato and you score it, cut it into 4, boil it, put it in the ice, the tomato skins come off. Reason why you want the tomato skins and seeds out is it does not ferment when you do that. So that keeps it fresh. Mark, keep it going. Garlic, be careful, garlic burns easily. You don't want to put on there too long. Cook that up a little bit, keep going. And there I have some fresh basil from my garden, add it all together, put some mushrooms in there, put on the stove for 7 hours, the way the Italians do it.
The old family recipe.
Yeah, from Sicily. And, you know, voila. And I think there's one more right queued up. Ooh,
so that's
I could smell it through the speakers.
Yeah, through this high definition setup we have here.
Yeah, so made some fresh, and then I went into jarring. Which is
a big jarring guy now.
Yeah,
that is rather
that
jarring.
Preserves and Christmas pudding. Yeah, but that's the stage I got to
just
in my
life.
Just
that figgy pudding guy.
Yeah. So that's I'm pretty excited about that. My tomato sauce is pretty good. If you're lucky, I'll let you have a
little taste, a little sampler guy.
Little onesie twosies.
Little breadstick for you. That's great, man. That's cool. Dude. No. We've been up to a lot of things, and you know, working on another remodel in the front yard. So we've been taking bids to do. Redo some stuff in the front yard. Just homeowner stuff, buddy. Just homeowner stuff. Nothing too exciting, but what I did want to chat about is a new development or an expansion of a current development that's located in the Sawmill District. Now, one of the coolest parts of Albuquerque is the Sawmill District, capped off obviously with Sawmill Market, the new hotel that's over there, Chaco. But the developer, Jim Long, has proposed a significant investment of over $200 million towards the second phase of development at Sawmill, adding to some residential and commercial opportunities. The project components, proposed development includes new hotels, apartments, and addressing a growing need for housing and accommodation in the vibrant Sawmill district. Long-term goals, overall vision for Sawmill aims to create a more dynamic and attractive urban environment that will support a diverse range of residents, visitors, and enhance Albuquerque's
I'm
overall
assuming
appeal.
that's mixed use, right? Zoned what,
Correct.
M1?
Yeah.
So you got, and then that's a big city thing. We see some of it near the university where Chiba Hut is. There's some lofts above it, but I think that's the big city thing, is to usually have the owner operator usually live above there, right? And it doesn't have to be that way, but what a good way to tend to your business. And in a downtown, you always want to kind of keep your business at an arm's length away.
Well, Old Town, so Sawmill's adjacent to Old Town, and Old Town is whatever. It's a tourist trap. It's been there forever. It's it's something nostalgic about it, but also there's really nothing to do there except buy keychains and T-shirts. So Sawmill, I think, is great in the fact that it brings something different and a different vibe to Albuquerque that we're definitely lacking.
Yeah, and I think that you could see an emergence of maybe Sawmill and Old Town with downward expansion kind of meet each other, right? And have this nice blend. So I think the way they're growing outward, they could meet each other, and you have a nice, I guess, a wide array of restaurants and clubs and
Nightlife, at least.
Yeah, nightlife for sure.
Well, and one thing that would tie it all together, and we've talked about it multiple times on the show, is the rail trail. The rail trail is that trail that goes around downtown, including the Sawmill, that kind of connects everything that you like to go rollerblading on. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be ripped up in no time.
Yeah, ladies. So anyways, man, when it comes to the housing market, I think one of the big things that's everybody's talking about is what can we expect in the economy and the housing market under a Donald Trump administration. Yeah. And what we've seen now is that leading up to the election, buyers and sellers have been on the fence, right? Everybody wants to see what's going to happen, who's going to win. And what that's translated to is that transaction volume is down about 12% in the last year. So Albuquerque typically sells around 11,000 homes a year, and right now we're at 9,600. So we're significantly below where we were on average. I think the best year we ever had was like 14,000 sales in 2021. Yeah. So what that means, though, is that now after the election, here's where it gets kind of cool. Inventory is up about 20%, which means sellers are back in the market. And then one leading indicator that we always look at is pending home sales. And pending home sales are up another 20% as well, which means buyers are back in the market. So I'm very confident in where our market's headed in the next year to 2 years under the new administration.
Yeah. Here's something that will dispel a lot of myths that happen. Grant, don't interest rates go down after election? Absolutely not. They went up 0.5%. So all that myth, that folklore, he's coming to save the day, it didn't matter who was in office. It really is independent about who gained office. Feds chopped the interest rate by 25 basis points. Interest rates went up. Again, reiterate, Fed rate does not dictate mortgage interest rates. Interest rates are the highest they've been all year. Okay?
Yeah.
Had some Fed cuts and it meant nothing to mortgage rates.
And I think what that stems from too is that when the economy is uncertain, investors will put all their money into stable investments like the bond market.
10-year bond, yep.
And so what we saw over the last 10 days is a huge spike in the stock market. Cryptocurrencies went through the roof as people pull their money out of the secure bond market into more aggressive assets or volatile assets like crypto. And again, when money flees the bond market, mortgage interest rates go up, and we saw that this week.
Yeah, we're in a pretty topsy-turvy times. I mean, I think we might be teeter-tottering on a recession. We have unemployment rates probably the lowest they've ever been. But what happens is goods and products become less efficient. So again, I always use the Dion's Pizza. Dion's Pizza takes $16 to be made. Now, in the next quarter, it takes $20 to be made. That's inefficient, and we're paying the labor market a premium. So unemployment can be seemingly a great thing. It gets too low, you're paying more for a product that used to cost less maybe 2 weeks ago. So that adds to inflationary pressure, and so something's got to give. Where labor's very expensive, and what happens when labor's expensive? Layoffs happen. So there's always this cycle of immersing markets and then getting into maybe a recession. So sadly enough, you have to have some recessions, otherwise this things keep skyrocketing and costs get too high. So we will see a recession. I don't know if it'll be a severe one, but everything that is in place and the wheels in motion is, they all can't survive.
Well, I charge by the hour, and I know a lot of other professions do too, ladies.
Have you seen that emergence of like everyone proclaiming to be like, you could take me on a date, you know, and I'll be your Thanksgiving date, and then some of the specimens shouldn't be charging so much.
I don't visit those websites, Grant.
Yeah, the dark web. Oh,
Yeah.
That's why CenturyLink yanked his internet a long time ago.
No, I'm sure you can find my social on the dark web. But what's new with you, man? Any grants?
Yeah, anything? Yeah, we're approaching Thanksgiving, and I've got a bunch of things that I don't like about it. Let's kick it off. I've got to find that fake cigarette somewhere.
It's not that hard.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I smoked it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Thanksgiving and maybe preemptively, but here are the things I want to clear up about Thanksgiving and things I don't like. We are all assembling for seemingly a free meal, but there's no free lunch, Skip. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to eat. We're going to get a little bit bloated. We're going to have people put things on our plates because they made it, and we are like, we didn't want that on our plate because we knew it was going to be bad. Auntie Georgia, please don't give me any more green bean casserole. But she's going to load you up, and you got to eat it, and you got to puke in the bathroom after it's done. Now, here's the other problem. We have to watch football. And as much as I don't like football, we have to watch the Dallas Cowboys on top of it. Every single Thanksgiving, we're forced to watch the Cowboys. It's an issue. Here's my other problem. People will do this folklore and long-lasting myth that is not true. Hey, Grant, do you know you're getting tired because of the tryptophan in turkey? That's not true. Their turkey has a trace amount of tryptophan in it other than other meats. The reason why we get tired is because of a glucose release from your pancreas. That's why. It's a carb overload. That's why we get tired. If one more person tells me it's because of the turkey, I'm going to leave the table and never come back to the house. That's the end of the Grand Trans.
Dude,
I'm tired of this tryptophan line.
I'm tired of turkey, by the way. Can we just be honest? Thanksgiving sucks. Like the meals, the food is trash.
You know what though? One time I did the bachelor move. I paid a guy and he deep fried the turkey. Best turkey I ever had.
Well, let's call him back. Maybe he's on one of those apps.
At the state fair, it would probably cost $289 to have the same thing. You could deep fry anything, right? The Snickers and that, and then the turkey was excellent though.
I'm busting out the smoker this year. Shout out All Night Allen. I got a smoker on loan from All Night Allen.
That's another thing that bugs me. People talk about their smokers.
Hey, listen to me. Tune in. We'll see how the ham turns out.
Tobacco kills. Yeah. I'm tired of secondhand smoke. I'm tired of people talking about, I should have added that. Oh, you got to put things in the smoker. But just serve me the meat. I don't care how you did it, how long you spent. How you poured? Oh, I poured, Michelob Ultra all over. Forget it.
Oh, you don't want to know how the sauce is made?
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is a little vinegary. I'm a foodsie. Say you're a foodsie again. I'm also leaving the table.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined in studio by Ketamine Cat and Rebecca Sonnenberg.
That perked my ears up.
Of What in the Actual Mental Health Podcast. Stay tuned. This is all about you, ABQ. Welcome back to UABQ. I am Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
And we're joined in studio by Ketamine Cat and Rebecca Sonnenberg of the What in the Actual Mental Health Podcast. Kat, Rebecca, I'm so excited to have you guys on the show. A little bit of a backstory. You and I know each other only in the fact that I got to do an episode of your podcast. Yes. And I think it was the top rated podcast episode that you guys had.
Butt stuff, and your shit was right
we talked about butt stuff. We got real deep.
It was right up your butt.
We got real deep.
It was right up your alley.
Yeah.
It was funny today because I told my wife you guys were coming on the show. She's like, well, I think I need to be on this episode.
Right.
And I was like, hell yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You could see the full circle, how this whole thing is
comes
held together.
Yeah, because I'm really anxious to hear what your love language actually is.
Yes. Well, that will, spoiler alert, we'll save that for the end of the show once again. But no, my wife Ashley said to say hi. Sorry, she couldn't make it. It's during nap time.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah.
We'll tell her we
never
said hi.
mess with nap time.
Yeah, correct.
And she's always welcome on the pod as well.
Yeah. Shout out intern Ashley back at home. But Kat, let's talk a little bit about you.
Oh boy.
Because
cool.
You are self-proclaimed Ketamine Cat. Talk about your backstory a little bit. Born and raised.
Okay. So yes, born and raised in New Mexico. Not a huge fan of the education system here, so I got all of my college education from other states, and then thought I wanted to kind of bring that home and help New Mexico. I am a board certified family nurse practitioner, so 5 years now, but have worked in the medical field since 2010, have been a nurse since 2014, and just really have a heart for the community and, serving the people that can't serve themselves. And so just kind of being an advocate for people, especially in the mental health and substance abuse space, that's kind of like, that's where
Well, I think there's a big need for that in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think we see that as soon as we walk outside downtown as well. But Rebecca, a little bit of your backstory.
Sure. Yeah, I'm born and raised New Mexico. I decided to roll the dice with the education system and I stayed here. Look how that worked out for everyone. But yeah, I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I've been in the therapy world for about 12 years now. I'm trauma informed, certified in a bunch of different stuff, and same thing, like healing New Mexico is big. I'm a New Mexico baby through and through, but I know we could do better and we have to. There's no reason we shouldn't be, so it's definitely been a goal to just heal as much as we can.
Well, the goal of this show is basically, it's all about Albuquerque and highlighting businesses in Albuquerque and change makers in Albuquerque. But what we always like to do is, talk to the people that grew up here and figure out, Kat, you had a chance to leave, see greener pastures. Mm-hmm. What in the hell brought you back to Albuquerque? What were you nostalgic for about our city?
Well, I got my associate's degree in Tampa, Florida, and big city, lots of money there. The education was much better than what I would have gotten here, but I really felt like other states that have money, they have people to help them. They have the resources. They have the creative, aspect and the kind of forward thinking. And so I really wanted to bring that back to New Mexico. But I am one person, and you can't save the world by yourself. So you really need a tribe.
Well, I feel like you guys have a little bit of a cool tribe going together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, talk about growing up here, and I'm sure you've had opportunity to go explore outside of New Mexico, but what was it about New Mexico that made you want to stay here and kind of make a difference?
It's interesting, like every time we've gone somewhere, I'm like, oh, this is pretty, this is really cool, but there's just a different vibe, a different energy that New Mexico brings. You can go 30 minutes in any direction and get a different culture, get a different type of food, get a different ethnicity. And to me, we're such a beautiful melting pot of all the cultures and ethnicities that you could have. And I think for me, New Mexico will always be true to my heart. I will always love it. And you can't get enough green chili to survive you anywhere else. So
yeah, that's for sure.
Grant grows green chili in his garden. So a little backstory on Grant, if you don't know, he is a second place winner at the
That's not
state
true.
fair.
I won like 4 first places and 2 second. And so
That's all he's focused on.
Why did you report me as such?
He said that's not true.
Yeah, he's like, wait, there's more.
No, I'm just kidding. No, Grant, you should try his sauce. He told us how the sauce was made.
I've read about your sauce on Central, so don't you worry.
You read about it? Is this on the sidewalks? Is this graffitied?
Yes.
Check this boy's sauce out. Just got my website.
Yes, with your glasses drawn on it.
What I think is fascinating about you guys is working in the mental health space and then just being a nurse and working in the health space in itself. You guys have combined forces to start a podcast. And as a couple of knuckleheads that are trying to break into the podcast business and host a TV show, I know that in itself is a full-time job. So kind of talk about your growth as hosts and where your show is going and where you want to be with it.
Where do you want to be with it?
It's so funny because Rebecca started this and she's like, I want to do this. Would you like to be like one of my first,
Yes.
guests? Yeah. And then we did one and her husband was kind of in the background and he's like, you guys have like really great chemistry together. And he's like, why don't you guys just do this together? And we were like, yes, fantastic. Yeah. And it kind of came in a part of my life that I was kind of reevaluating the type of clientele I wanted to see, had like some major life shifts and changes. And I feel honestly it's been very therapeutic, I think, for both of us and growing, just like learning from each other and taking cool tips and tricks to be able to integrate into our own practices. And I think overall our goal is just to reach as many people as we can and just offer that, that reassurance that you're not alone, regardless of what you're going through, because our podcast literally covers, everything. Like what we talked about, like being like the leader and the man in your home. And we've talked about, you know, sexual trauma and just ways to grow in your relationship, narcissism, abuse, suicide, eating disorders. What am I missing?
No, we've done a lot. And I think part of it too is like, it's nice to be able to bring like a human aspect to it. Like there's some humor to it, because these topics are heavy, right? But if we don't start having honest conversations about mental health, we will stay exactly where we are. And we don't have a lot of those honest conversations here. So we were like, well, we'll do it. We'll do it and we'll rip it apart.
Well, one thing that Grant and I do, and we always make a point of this too, when you talk about mental health and men's mental health, is we have basically on the calendar, we film our show, and then we always make an effort to go to lunch and just kind of decompress and see what's going on with each other, check in and see, you know, where is your mental health and how you feeling today. And which is, you know, it's tough to do as a man because you know you're meant to shoulder the load, shut the fuck up. And
I don't know if you've had the episode on there, but you know, I come from a Canadian hockey background, and you know, crying and showing hurt is last resort, and so inevitably it manifests different times of your life. And what can happen is, you know, as a male, you suffer, you've learned to keep to yourself. You could have everyone offer themselves to you to be like like sound in on and have an exchange and dialogue, and it's out of habit and familiarity that we don't, and men don't, and we can be afraid of how we'll be received, or we're just not in the practice of it. So we've learned to take it on ourselves. And really, it seems tough, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We predicate ourselves on being tough, and what ends up happening is a collapse later on, or something is missing, or deficiency, and relationships suffer. And I've realized that through life too, where I've been first to tell some of my hockey friends and kids that I coached, like, hey, I go to therapy because everyone could use a spotter in the gym, trainer. Like, why do we think that we have it handled when we don't have a playbook, and it may be good for a third party? So it's good that you guys bring that stuff up, and I think it's important, guys like us, that people may look like we have it made and such, to go, well, we don't have it made. And even if you think we have it made, no one has it made. There's not a woman or man on earth that has it made, and it needs to sound in with somebody. So I'm glad you guys bring that stuff up, and you're right, we do kind of promote that and say, like, hey, I'll go first. I go to therapy, and so like if there's any stigma about it, let me dispel it, right? So.
You have to be careful.
So your therapy is a little bit different, Kat, and Ketamine Kat. I mean, we have T-shirts made, Ketamine Kat.
I need to.
But talk about it, because this is kind of in mainstream, this is more of a cutting edge type of therapy. But what does it even look like? I mean, isn't ketamine something like you give to horses?
Yeah. So I mean, yes, but also
Only if they're really good.
right. If they're That's funny. So ketamine is like it's a sedative, or it's kind of like a psychedelic. It's kind of in that class. They use it in ERs and ORs in big doses to essentially like disassociate somebody. But it's safe because it doesn't, you don't have to be like intubated to use it. You can use it in the ERs very quick. Someone comes in, dislocated shoulder, give them a large dose of ketamine, and they are disassociated, so they don't remember you like popping your shoulder.
It doesn't stop involuntary actions, right? And that's one of the okay.
Yeah, you can continue breathing on your own. We give it to kids a lot because it's super safe and it's in and out of your system.
Skip keep giving it to kids, and they stop trick or treating.
Yeah, they were like hard pass on that one.
Well, the cops made me stop.
I know,
Weird.
how rude.
They're always coming down on all of mine.
Yeah, those like controlled
now we can't be in the
substances.
jumpy houses. Now we can't give away. Jeez.
I lost all my syringes.
How dare
Saturdays are real
dare they?
shitty now.
Yeah, they're really boring on your
Go
block.
to bed.
That's so funny.
So what does a typical ketamine treatment come in? I mean, is it a typical thing? I lay down on the couch, you jab me, and then I just start spilling guts?
I mean, no, not really
unless
at
you're
all.
good.
Yeah, not unless you're good. Not even sort of. So ketamine is, in an outpatient setting, it's very safe. We use microdoses, so much smaller doses. I'm not looking for you to like visit gorillas on Mars kind of thing. I just want enough that I'm bringing down these barriers, because you can do talk therapy all you want, but if you have trauma, your body physically sometimes will not let you process that when you're like coherent and present. And there's lots of different ways to go about working through that. I mean, Rebecca does EMDR, which is a trauma therapy protocol, but we've kind of combined forces because ketamine on its own is great. And it kind of like, it puts your brain in a neuroplastic state. It gives your brain the ability to process things that, it kind of, your brain coherently will protect you from. And you're building, positive reinforcement, positive thoughts, and kind of reprogramming the way that you think about things. And so you can do ketamine on its own and it will do a good job. And you can do therapy on its own to an extent. It will do a good job as long as your body is, allowing that. But when you combine them, it works wonders. So it's good, and great.
Yeah, and my understanding is it can kind of press the reset button for many people in the depression. And I think there's some couples ketamine things to press the reset button on them too, right? And I don't want to get too far into that because I don't know that much and I don't want to put you on the spot, but my understanding is you kind of get to have a resurgence and kind of put away some of the baggage or mental blocks you had about progressing. So I'm a big fan of where it's headed. I'm always curious, who are the pioneers? Who was all, you know what, let's try something.
Well,
I bet you.
It's going to be amazing.
It was actually discovered, not ketamine itself, but this whole thing was discovered in the military because they were using it on the soldiers, and they were like, their depression, anxiety, PTSD scores, they were dropping, and they were like,
real life testimonials,
yeah,
right?
and they're like, what's coming out of this? What is this from? And it kind of opened this whole study, and they've done study after study after study. The brain is this phenomenal organ, right? And no one knows exactly why the brain does what it does when it does, but every single time ketamine does what it does.
I'm impressed that it could become mainfare in the fact that we have a lot of people who have zero understanding making the most rules and legislation, right? That you have people who are a fear of the unknown are the ones that have the most convictions about it. So I'm glad there was some breakthrough that someone had to say, hang on, we can save some people, and someone listening, because we have naysayers whenever it's been anything. I mean, look how long it took marijuana. We're finding out that sometimes small doses of ecstasy can reunite couples and such, and it's good that we've become so progressive to give this a chance instead of people going no and deal with it. And like, I'm trying to deal with it.
I've been doing that.
It's not working.
It's not working.
That's
that's really where Rebecca and I think shine, is that we both bring a lot kind of to the table together. We have separate businesses, but as a combined force, our goal is to save as many people as we can. And I've been administering ketamine for it'll be 3 years in February, so coming up on 3 years. And I've never had a client go through the mental health protocol and be like, that did nothing for me. I've only had success. Like, I've never had anybody tell me that was a negative experience, that didn't work for me, I didn't make progression, because for me, it's a big picture. It's not just ketamine, it's not just, IV therapy, it's not just, certain micronutrients and things. It's the combination of all of that and therapy and, continuity of care and continuing on. Like, it's just one step in your journey.
Yeah. You know what I like about you two remaining somewhat separate, though, is sounding off of each other.
Yeah.
And I can compare it to music. And, sometimes it's great with two people collaborate, but it's good to have your own style and your own thinking and then meet up and then separate again. So you're not, you don't become, I guess, marginalized, or you become this one entity. You have your separate thoughts and you get to keep meeting and you go away to keep your own brains going on. So uniting is awesome, and then going back into your own proficiencies and knowledge base, and then you having two different experiences. That's what I think is magic, is it's when you don't combine forces, you get to then compare notes instead of having these notes together. You can compare and contrast.
Some checks and balances, right?
Yeah.
Rebecca, talk a little bit about, you've got a couple of different practices, a couple of different businesses, but talk about Waves.
So Waves Behavioral Health is our mental health practice. We do birth all the way to geriatrics. So we will take care of you from the minute you're alive to the very end of your life. We do EMDR, sound tray, play. We do couples, family.
What is EMDR, sound tray, play?
Sure. So EMDR, they're different things, but EMDR is like eye movement. So that's what we do, where you're holding buzzies. And it's like if you've ever thought of like a really amazing REM sleep, that's when your brain, both sides are talking, and you're able to process your stuff faster. So EMDR is phenomenal.
Wait a minute. So in like a setting like this, I have two buzzers?
Yep, you have two little buzzies, so
it
connects both sides. Nothing, you just sit there and you have stuff that I've asked you to focus on and work on. So you're focusing on that, and you're like recalling where that came from, where that trauma brought, the beginning of it basically, the root. and you're just pulling it up and you're getting rid of it so that
But then
you don't hold on.
what's with the hand buzzies?
So that it connects both sides of your brain. So it buzzes in the left and it buzzes in the right. So both sides are talking.
So much to learn.
No, you know what's funny you brought about
Yes.
sleep? I've had terrible sleep for the past 5 or 6 years, and it was through therapy that they said that you're not going to process anything.
Right.
It's just going to accumulate and accumulate until you have some REM sleep.
Yep.
And then that's how you're going to move on. But until
Yep.
then, you just have this landfill of things that just don't go anywhere, and
Right.
now you become saturated with stimuli, and then you become almost numb.
Yeah.
So it's funny you brought that up, because I just learned about that and how precious sleep is. And I was never a guy that was like, we'll sleep till when you're dead. I hated that mantra. It was so stupid. But I finally found the value of getting sleep, where I'm like, man, I'm able to like get past mental blocks and progress in my next day.
Yeah.
So I'm a big
And it's
fan
good
of
for
it.
your body too, right? 'Cause that's the
Absolutely.
thing about EMDR too, is it's a bottom-up therapy. So it works with your body to work with your mind, so that you're able to process stuff and get done with it and quit carrying it. Because although your mind will try to protect you and move your traumas, your body doesn't know how to do that. So you'll get rashes, your hair will fall out, you will find that you have gut issues typically. That's
These
trauma.
glasses will appear on your face.
Yeah, your glasses
All of
are
a
giving
sudden-
me
What? I
trauma.
didn't even have these this morning.
I know.
Yeah, now you can't see. Glasses. Shoot, I better get some REM. Yeah.
So we do all of that, and so we have 3 locations. So we're on the northeast side of town, we're in Moriarty, and we're in Rio Rancho. So we do all the things that you could possibly need, and if we don't do it, I'll get certified in it.
That's true.
Tomorrow.
She loves the certification.
I really do.
Yeah, or she'll send them to me. So we just that's where we
yeah.
refer back and forth quite
So I think we got to do some
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
action, do-it-yourself projects with because we're.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So you had asked me, and this is coming from Sandia Serenity. You offer it's kind of like a spa type thing. You can do injections. We do what is it, IV drips, stuff like that.
IV therapy. Yeah.
You had asked me what my love language
language.
is acts of service.
Yeah.
So I would prefer if you could put something in my butt right now.
Yeah. Okay. I see what I
the
see
gloves
where
on,
you're going.
Things become unglued.
It's going to be amazing.
That's fantastic.
Can't wait.
By the way, cheek.
But cheek.
Cheek.
Yes, it's not going in your
Skip
butt.
tips.
It's
That
going in
It's
feels
your
a
butt.
whole new meaning.
Put the KY down. Put the KY
Are we
down.
doing? Are we doing it right now?
Yeah, we are.
Oh
gonna
boy.
do
Lay
it.
down on the
okay.
carpet.
Yeah, take your pants off and jacket.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
But leave your glasses on, please. Please.
So I'll do one. I don't know if Grant, if you have the patience